passion to fly must be within you. It's not just a regular job. It's a commitment that you have to make right up front. So my belief is that you would have to approach a flight school or one of the training academies that are in the country. And South Africa has a number of good ones. And you must have a good academic record, mathematics in particular, English of a very high standard, and preferably a science. That would be quite helpful, although not mandatory. It certainly helps you with the academic performance. Then if you have those requirements, then to enter the flight school as a student pilot, and you start with the ground school, going to the next phase of becoming a pupil private pilot license. Then moving on from there, it depends on your personal performance at which point you transition. Some people are quite good and they learn very fast, and then at 50 hours they already have a private pilot license. However, then moving on, you'll find on average, I think the market is pitching around about 65 hours per pilot, and then you move on to your night rating, and you get qualified in night rating, in which you have a smattering of instrument flying, and then of course moving into the night flying phase thereafter. Then while you are busy with that, you generally, if you're really focused on a full-time basis, you are working already towards your commercial pilot license with the academic subjects, and there's a multitude of them to go through. And then from there you start a more advanced training, advanced navigation, advanced instrument flying, and basically learning the procedures of all-weather operations. And once you've reached that stage, that's around about the 200-hour mark. And it also includes some of the simulator flight training, which is normally on what they call an FNP-T2, which is a flight and navigation procedures trainer. Then you move into the commercial realm. Once you've reached that level, then of course the question is getting employed, and that's the challenge. This is when you enter the almost no man's land. You've got a boat, you've got sails, but you can't sail because there's no wind, and that's the big challenge for the guys coming out of the commercial sector at the moment. So getting into the professional aviation, this is where you have to really work hard. So high performance, good guys are the guys that normally get snapped up first, and of course if your academic performance is good, then of course you will come out head and shoulders above the rest, and you become basically the first port of call. You know, South Africans have historically been renowned for good aviators. So we have a lot of involvement with a lot of operators in country where they have contracts in, for example, Africa and the Middle East, flying on United Nations or Red Cross type of operations to gain experience. In fact, my son was in that same category. He ended up flying contractually in Africa and gaining a lot of experience, and that's where your development comes in terms of your personal shall I say, self-confidence grows there, where you're actually commanding an aeroplane on your own, making decisions on your own. And this is where the problems lie, is that people do not cultivate their own decision-making skills, because we're finding in our society that you have this over-nurturing environment where the parents are mollycoddling their children, and they are these youngsters that are not really making decisions for themselves. They must learn to stand on their own two feet and get to know how to make decisions, become a commander of the aeroplane. That's the challenge, because ultimately this is where you're aiming for, become a commander. Then once they've gained enough experience, then of course the airlines are looking for candidates. And it's a thrust and parry operation, because sometimes you have months and even years where no employer is available, and then all of a sudden there's a surge, and it's like a full draw from either the international airlines or the local airlines, or even regional airlines, where they are drawing on the industry. And being at the right place at the right time, that's imperative. So I always say, be visible, be visible, be visible. Be visible at all costs, but be visible by a good deed, and that's the challenge. And then we take people into the employ there.